information, opinions, and trivia. From the cowboy that knows, please welcome Cowboy Ron.
Hey, how you doing today? I want to talk about my old life, before I moved out west. I was a tour guide in Washington, D.C. We had to drive the buses and lecture. Sometimes we had hand microphones that wouldn't reach far enough. And primarily we would do Washington, D.C., but we also did Mt. Vernon. And halfway between Washington, D.C. and Mt. Vernon is Alexandria, Virginia. Alexandria, Virginia is the second oldest incorporated town in the United States. Incidentally, it was laid out by George Washington at the age of 16 years old. The main street going through Alexandria is Washington Street. No, he did not name it after himself. He named it after his father. But anyway, I would give the people a little extra stop, Christ Church. Christ Church is the church behind me, and that's the church that both George Washington and Robert E. Lee have both attended. They own pews there. George Washington's pew is off to my left at the other end of the church, and Robert E. Lee's is pretty well behind my right shoulder there. Now in those days, those pews were one more layer high. That's only 2/3 of the layer. Now, they have the original floors there, but going back to the layers, the reason they were so high is they would have to bring hot coals to stay warm, because they were going to sit through a 3 to 4 hour sermon. George Washington rode his carriage 7 miles every Sunday to go to Christ Church. Robert E. Lee, who had married into the Martha's family, also has a pew there. They also have facsimiles of their signatures. On the Washington pew, most all presidents and dignitaries have sit in the Washington pew on a Sunday service. There's a facsimile of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's signature, and also Sir Winston Churchill. His signature is there. Now, if the original floors are there, the glass is a colonial glass, and if you see, all of them are wavy, for exception of a couple that got broken out. And when you're at the one at the very end of the church on the left side, it had warped a little bit, and it looks like a fish. Now you'll see, let me move over a little bit, see if you can see the it's called the wine glass pulpit, and they would it looks like a wine glass, and the preacher would go up in there, and there's a board over his head. It's called a sounding board, and that would deliver the sound to the full length of the church. That's how much time we spent. Also, on the left is the Ten Commandments and the Lord's Prayer, and the tour guides will point out that it's turned to a golden hue over the years. The chandelier, which is on the other side of the church, it took 17 years to get that from England. The original pipe organ is on display at the Smithsonian Institute. That's called the Museum of American History at 14th and Constitution Avenue, Northwest. Originally, that museum was called the History and Technology for us older people. Off to the right of us, the Washington Monument, and all those museums are in that area. You see the balconies, the original floors, and they'll let you sit and take pictures. You can't take pictures, I don't believe, but you can sit in the pew that George Washington used to sit in, or Robert E. Lee. And it's just a total amount of history there. You got two choices. If you're a tour guide, you can go in and explain it yourself, or they got a tour guide that will explain it for you, or they got a recording. One of the recordings in the old days, I really liked that. I liked them all. They have a little gift shop out there that helps maintain the church. So I just wanted to share my past life with you. I hope you like it. and please come back.